All right, what is the relationship between educational achievement and home ownership? A random sample of 500 U.S. students was selected. Each member of the sample was identified as a high school graduate or not, and as a homeowner or not. The two-way table is displayed below. Just suppose we choose a member of the sample at random. Define the events. And so what we have right here, it'll say G is a person, is a high school graduate. H is a person, is a homeowner. Okay, so essentially this is G, and this would be not G, or the complement. This would be H, and this would be not H, the complement. Okay, so explain in plain language what P of G complement means and find the probability. Well, essentially that means is that it's the probability of selecting a um, a person who did not, and that's where the C is, does not graduate high school. And I'll just put H right there. And that's what we have there. So how do we figure out that probability? Well, the probability of G naught is essentially the probability 1 minus the probability of actually graduating high school. And so if we have this right here, we know this is going to be of 500 adults in each one of these categories. All right, so 500 right here. And so we could go this way. We can also say G naught. And so if we go right here, um, in this thing, all right there, and we want to figure out what is the probability of G naught not graduating high school. Well, we can take um, probability of graduating, which this is 310, and then just to make sure, and this is right here going to be 190. Okay, and this is going to be 1 minus, all right, 310 over 500, all right, which is also equal to 190 over 500, which we have, all right, could go either way, but in any case, we get 0.38. 0.38 is our probability. Cool. Now, similar to our other example, explain why P of G or H does not equal simply the probability of graduating high school and the probability of a home ownership. And hopefully you're thinking is that, well, we can't do that because if we did that, that would just be the probability of G. If we just did the probability of G, well, that would be 310 divided by 500 plus the probability of H, which in this case is um, that's going to be 340 right there. It would be 340 divided by 500. And if you add those together, you realize that that actually is going to be greater than that. But you notice that what we're happening is that we have an end statement. We have an end statement because we are using the probability of graduating high school and homeownership twice. So we have to subtract one of these out. And so what we do is when we subtract that out, we actually will have, we're actually adding 89 plus 221 plus 119 and dividing that by 500. Okay, because in essence, we are taking out 221 divided by 500 out of there. And so what that gives us is 429 divided by 500, which is about 0.858. And that's why we have our example. All right, and explain why? Well, because we are using, all right, probability of H and G twice. All right, all right, so we have an overlapping event. The next thing is we want to create a Venn diagram, all right, of the sample space in this chance process, right, to display the sample space of this chance process. So right here was create our Venn diagram. And what we have right there, okay. And I'm going to call this H, we'll call this G. And then first off, I'm going to plug in my 221. So our overlapping events right there. Now what we have left over then is for homeownership is 119. Now these two values have to add up to be 340, and they do. Over here, we know our G, and G is going to be 221, and we also have 89. Together, those add up together to equal 310, which they do. Now, the one thing is, what do we have left over? Well, we have 71. Well, that is our mutually exclusive events where it's not homeownership, it is not graduating from high school, and so that is where we have our final values in our Venn diagram. Cool. All right, and finally, write the event. It is not a high school graduate, and it is a homeowner. All right, so probability of not being a high school graduate and is a homeowner. We're going to just say H right there. So the not adds in the complement. And the compliment is not that you look great, which you really do. Okay, but no, we have not being a high school graduate and, all right, being a homeowner. And so now let's find this probability. Probability of not being a high school graduate. All right, so not being a high school graduate and being a homeowner. And being a homeowner is actually, I'm going to put this in a different color. It's going to be that right there. Okay, not high school graduate and homeowner. Boom, 119, and that's going to be 119 over 500. So for this event to occur, the probability according to our sample is going to be 0.238. And that is what we have. All right, so once again, going through and using the general addition rule of probability and talking about why we need to use that, what does probability mean, how to use a Venn or two-way table and a Venn diagram, and then finally using notation of using the and symbol and not the or symbol. Once again, the or symbol looks like whoop, a little horseshoe looks like that. All right, well, I hope this helps you out, and good luck and God bless in the rest of your problems.